How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the KSS YouTube channel. On today's episode, we are building a bottom end. Before that, I'm going to show some parts me, Aiden, and Owen gathered over the weekend at the Scrapyard. I was told on Friday by Aiden, who had a friend that went into the yard and said, there's an CSX Type S, everything's here. So it was 2:30 on a Friday, and he said everything was there. So I started panicking. I was at work. I wanted to leave, but there's only two and a half hours left of the day for people to gather stuff or get stuff from the scrapyard because it closed at 5. I was like, okay, if everything's there and I go in the morning on Saturday, I'll be able to get some good parts. I went at 7:30. I looked like a psychopath in the parking lot when it opens at 9. So I just sat there and waited for an hour and a half to make sure I was the first in the door, because I learned my lesson that stuff goes quick, especially in Ottawa, the Ottawa scrapyard. Yeah, we have this RBC head, K20Z3, RBC manifold, which is going to be for Aiden. That's going to be for his Del Sol because he's been looking for an RBC for a long time. They go for like quite a bit, $200-300. So easy. I found one. Yeah, easily $200-300. So that's going to be for Aiden. The cams, K20Z3 cams, so that's 3-lobe VTEC cams with the 50-degree VTC gear. So those are really good cams, worth a lot of money. And today we went back and Aiden wanted to get the 6-speed gear set because that's also worth money, and he might sell it to someone. We might have a contact because we actually know someone that might need it. So he might sell it or might keep it for another build, still in a deciding period. I forgot to get the part that I got, which is right here. Mentioned it in, our last video. I got my LSD, found one. So a factory LSD out of that same motor, or transmission, K20Z3 factory LSD. So that's the full diff. That'll be going in the EP3 transmission over winter.
It's crazy that you found that, man.
I know, I can't believe I found that, man. Oh, I'm so happy. I was so happy I looked like a crazy person at 7:30, an hour and a half before it opened, but it was all worth it. We also got this crank from that same car right here. So beautiful, good shape, no nicks, nothing. Crankshaft out of that K20Z3. Because we were doing research, because let's say someone wants to do a poor man's A2 or Z3, they can put that crank into a K20 A3 and use K20 A2 rods or Z3 rods. I think that makes sense, and that's how it should work. Yeah, that's
because the rod journals are different.
Yeah, the rod journals are different on this. Aiden did that research actually. Yeah. Found it on. What'd you find it on? Humble Performance.
Yeah, Humble Performance has a whole write-up about K-series builds. Yeah,
so that's a good crank, and also along with the head, got the full VTEC rocker set up. So some of the stuff fell out, but I had some extra pins lying around, so those
rebuild it.
Yeah, they're all done. They're all rebuilt and ready to make full VTEC on both sides. So legit VTEC loads.
Yeah, such a successful weekend.
Very successful. Very. That head that we got, the K20Z3 head, that's not going to be going on the motor that we're going to be building in this. Well, I'm only doing the bottom end in this video, but just for future purposes, that motor is not going to have the Z3 head. The Z3 head, I'm thinking, is, unless something else better comes up, which, I mean, I don't think that can happen, that's going to go on my built motor, which I have not revealed yet. You guys will get more details on that in the future. But, so yeah, just this motor is going to be Honda parts, so it's not going to be getting that Z3 head. So it's just going to be the PPA full CRV head VTEC lock. So that head is going to be for another build, and I think it's going to be my other built motor block. That's all the parts.
Well, there's a couple extra things, like a couple EP3 idler pulleys, a Z3 crank pulley,
really good
a
condition.
6-speed selector with reverse lockout, the full gear set, a full oil cooler setup, and just a couple odds and ends. But we did not pay more than $300 for this whole setup.
Everything. So
which is really good insane.
Deal. Yeah. So yeah, we just wanted to show that little bit of parts. That actually took quite a while. And tomorrow, because we were gonna build the block tonight, shoot that, but I don't have a torque wrench that goes under 50 pounds or 50 foot-pounds, and I need some like 22-pound, like there's some 22-pound specs, so I need another torque wrench. So we're gonna get one tomorrow. We're gonna get building on that bottom end there tomorrow.
You'll see that tomorrow?
Yeah, that's gonna be tomorrow. We're not, like, it's gonna be the same video, but tomorrow. We cleaned up our oil mess, which Aiden is standing in right now. It's been soaking for like a week.
Oh, this is also the first time you guys see the clean block.
Oh yeah, that's true. I
Yeah,
cleaned it.
all cleaned up.
So
Looks a little bit better.
It's still got like that corrosion, but the grease is all gone. It's good enough for me. I'll accept it. So that's the block that we're gonna be working on in about 5 seconds. It's the next day. We are about to put everything together, and we have everything, I think, well organized in this mess. So we got our assembly lube, our RTV, our gasket maker for around the block, our thrust washers. All the pistons are set up. I got one set up in the ring compressor right now. Over here I got all my bearings set up. So these are the ones from that go on the block. These are the ones that go on the girdle. And then my bolts are over there for the girdle itself. And we're going to start popping things in. So we're going to start by putting these bearings in the block. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your bearings and put them on just like that. This is dry. I think the reason is because you don't want it to slip. You don't want to spin a bearing. So you're just going to take the bearing and go like so. Match up your alignment pin. And then just like that. Easy as that. That bearing's in. So you just repeat the process for all all 5. Just go like that. Make sure they're flush. Even if they're not flush, I mean, it's hard to not get them flush, but even if they're not, they'll just squeeze together. Make sure you have clean hands, because if you have dust or rocks or something, it could get under there and then not tighten well or affect the torque specs.
Ruin the bearing.
Yeah, ruin everything. Oh, by the way, these are the bearings that were in the block originally. So these are like 330,000 kilometer bearings. Just going back in because they look still like perfect. They're perfect to run again. Now, assembly lube is gonna go on the bearing. This is where this crank is gonna sit. And my assembly lube of choice is Lucas heavy duty oil stabilizer, because this stuff is very thick. Aiden was I was gonna use just motor oil, but Aiden got me. He's like, "You get an assembly lube," and I was doing research and found this stuff. It's very thick. Like, it's taking forever to drip down. And take that.
I mean, if the motor is gonna run in like, you know, a couple days, it's fine to just use motor oil.
Yeah.
But when it's sitting for a long time, you want to put an assembly lube on it.
Yeah. And I was talking to Aiden earlier. We were for the pistons, I'm gonna put motor oil, because I don't want it like thick stuff getting stuck in the oil control rings, and then it's like sits there and gums there, because there's no oil pressure that's gonna push it out. I don't want it to like varnish and get like all weird and crud up in the rings, because I just spent so much time cleaning those rings. Take some from here. Stuff is like honey, seriously. Yeah, that's all lubed up. I'm gonna go get the crank. Oh, no, I'm not.
Thrust
washers.
Now, don't be like Roman and put them on backwards.
I remember when he did that. Dude, that was so cool. Or cool, funny, but still like, oh, okay, he figured it out how it's wrong. Oh, well, I'll tell you what he did wrong. He put this on the inside, which it's supposed to go on the outside. The notches go outside of the where they sit. So like so. Outside and outside. Make them sit just there. Actually, I'll put some assembly lube on there as well. Alright.
Just be careful not to nick anything.
Yep.
It just drops right in.
There we go. Alright, those thrust washers didn't move. Bearings are all fine.
And you can even, just give it like a quick turn.
Yeah, make sure it's not binding or anything. So right now it's good. I'm going to put RTV from, I'd say, here. Actually, you know what? I might put the RTV on the girdle, because I know where it goes on the girdle. It just goes around here. Like, not past that line, I'm guessing. So I'll do that. Yeah, because I don't want you don't want RTV on the mating surface where the caps, like, because a K series is just this whole girdle. So you need like this to be flat, the machine surface to machine surface, and this is just like the sealing surface, so oil doesn't leak out. Yeah, so we're just gonna put some, I'm gonna put these bearings in, then I'll put RTV around the girdle. So we're just gonna put some assembly lube on the crank, the mains of the crank, and RTV on the girdle. So we're just gonna slap some of this stuff on. Bearings are in, RTV's on. I'm gonna slap this girdle on. I am way off. There we go.
Both surfaces are clean and full of RTV.
Yep.
Ready to just, might have to fidget with it a little bit, kind of tap it.
There we go.
And it just kind of falls into place. I think there's dowel pins on the girdle.
Yep, so, like that.
Yeah, can't really get it wrong. Only goes on one weight because it lines up with your rear main. Oh,
while I'm looking at it, my plug for my oil passage. So Aiden's was just on his K24 A2. We just punched the like the orifice is what it's called. We punched it out. Just like I said, came out. Mine was like a brass Allen bolt. So I had trouble taking out. It was a 5mm Allen. Stripped it, or it was about to strip. So I was like, okay, well I'm gonna stop. Then I was like looking for solutions, and I was like brass. So I tried welding, like dumb ideas were coming to my mind. I tried brass welding, it didn't work, it didn't stick well. So then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna drill the hole to like 5/16, which is just under 8mm. Drilled it, and I took a tap, an M8 by 1.25 tap, tapped right in. So super easy. I think it was just enough, and it threaded right perfectly. So I put a bolt with a copper washer, like kind of drain plug style, caliper style. So that copper washer should block the oil from leaking and causing low to no oil pressure. And it's tight. It's really tight, so I'm not worried about it coming out. So that's how I blocked that oil passage. All right, let's
get to putting these bolts in. You're going to want to put engine oil on the threads. Yeah. And then we'll get to torquing them down. So
we're gonna go from the center out as so like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the torque spec is 22 foot-pounds, and then an extra 56 degrees of turning. So I'm just gonna torque this right now, real quick. 22 foot-pounds is nothing, so it's gonna beat really quick. Dude, I've never used this. It's so cool.
It just beeps when you get to the torque.
What the hell?
It's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah. How much is this? Probably like $1,000.
It's like $800.
Yeah.
I want one so bad though. Just for building engines.
Yeah. I always hear it in videos. Never used one. And I'm not sure if the manual says to do it, but I'm gonna do a second pass.
Yeah, just
like
to make sure everything's
center
flat.
out.
Yeah, because you may find when you torque it, some might be a little bit looser. It kind of like almost resists too when you get to the torque.
It's like a toothbrush. It's making me think of a toothbrush. All right.
That's
so that was
the first pass,
or first and second pass.
Yeah.
Making sure everything's tight. Now it's gonna be 56 degrees. Aiden's gonna have to show me how this works. I never use this thing.
So you're gonna go unit. There should be degrees.
Oh, ben, tabarnak.
Yeah, you pick your unit and then you pick your degrees. So 56 degrees. So yeah.
What the?
You're gonna want one eventually.
That is. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you filming that?
Yeah.
I was so amazed. All right, so an extra 56 degrees starting now. Dude. Wow. Every bolt I'm gonna say wow.
And you don't really want to like refund it either. You kind of want to like slowly go into the torque so you don't overdo it.
Yeah. That was the last one. So those are tight. I'm just going to move on to the 12s. And actually I'll explain something I figured out, which is, so you have a bunch of like small 12s, and then you have 4 longer ones. The longer ones go directly in the center. Reason why is because these, like, so it's these 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. they're higher than all the others. So you
Yeah,
take
you
the
can
long
see right
ones.
here.
Yeah.
There's long and short ones.
And if you pay attention to which one's which, these ones. This is a clean one. So the clean one would be like no gum or gunk on it. Would be the one that was in the engine. There it is. Two of the long ones go here. Then all the other ones are all the same. So you just put them wherever. Actually no, there's actually some more that are clean. So the ones that are in the engine are the clean ones.
We'll just kind of snug them up and then we'll torque them.
Yep. Not really worried about these ones because they're just like holding the gasket maker from the preventing the oil. They don't need to be like accurate. I don't think. All right, that should be good. So I guess we'll move on to the rods now. So we're just gonna put some assembly lube on the the connecting rod journals on the crankshaft. So just like this. I actually might put a lot because hopefully it'll leak down over time. Because I feel like it's gonna be messy to put it on my finger and then on the connecting rod, then down. So I'll just go let it go on the crank instead. So I'll just rotate it, do it like this.
And we'll also probably put a bit on the actual rod.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. Now we'll rotate this thing at the end when we're all done. And
see if she spins freely.
yeah, just putting some normal engine oil on the cylinder walls to make the piston slap in. Like I said earlier, I wanted engine oil, not assembly lube. I didn't want like gummy thickness in the oil control ring, so I'm just putting some normal thin, well not thin, but normal engine oil on the cylinder walls. But to put the first piston in with the rings like according to how we measured them, the arrow, I'm not sure if you can see that,
yeah,
goes towards the front, so it's going towards the front. Put the thing in like that, and then make sure you're there we go. That should be good.
Well, tap this down.
Well, yeah. Okay. There we go. One. So we'll get that one in, and then we'll go to the other one that's down. So the crank is down on this end and down on this end. Then we'll tighten them, or just maybe snug them. We'll tighten them all at the same time. And then we'll put the two center ones down, like the crank down, and then put the two center ones in. All the pistons are in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're gonna just torque, because right now they're just snug with my DeWalt gun. We're just gonna tighten the connecting rods correctly, like to the correct torque spec, which is 22 foot-pounds plus an extra 90 degrees on each bolt. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Wow.
Amazing.
I've said wow to every single thing I've tightened with this thing.
Amazing
Wow.
what like $800 can do.
Yeah. Made about 0.2 horsepower right there.
Ottoman is complete,
Yep.
all torqued.
All fully rotating and sounding good. So everything rotates, nothing bound or got bound up, and everything's torqued. We had some fun with the where's the ring compressor?
Oh, that thing's
I don't like this thing. So yeah, it took me a couple shots. When we did Owen's motor, did all first shot. This one there was one piston, 5 shots. I was about to
Plus.
throw the more, maybe more. So I was yelling.
Yeah.
Off
camera.
Yeah. So everything's rotating. There is a full K24 A1 bottom end with TSX pistons and rods built right now. So the next is going to be the head, which not anytime soon. Well, like I want it like this motor built within a month or two. So I just need a head gasket, oil pump chain, valve seals, a new timing chain, and tensioner, and that's gonna be the full Honda, all OEM Honda motor.
We'll slap the K24 A2 springs in it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm thinking, because I was looking on RPM, what you can get for RPM on K24 A2 head, and people were saying 75, 76 tops, 8,000 if you really want to push it, but I don't think I'm going to do 8,000 because the torque and the power is way more down low on a K24, so I'll see if I can use those springs for this setup in this head. So I hope you guys like this video, and we'll see you in the next one.